I grew up in area code 313. My wife grew up in area code 513. So both of our hometowns are a place that starts with an odd number and ends with a 13. There's a lot of breweries out there that have names that are fantastic and geographically specific and utterly indistinguishable from one another if you're not from the area. We wanted something that takes 5 seconds to explain and is completely memorable. I was a home brewer for about 4.5 years before my wife decided that I was not going to be a home brewer anymore. The way she likes to tell it is that I would bring her beers and not tell her that they were mine. First beer from a new batch, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, this is great, where's it from?" So it was kind of a confluence of events. She has an MBA, business background, and she really liked the beer I was making. The business side kind of came naturally, and as a home brewer, I experimented a lot with recipe formulation, played around with a lot of unusual variations on traditional type recipes, and we came up with kind of an interesting mix that works for us. We're a young brewery, but we have a fairly unique personality. But we've spent a lot of time cultivating a personality of we are brewing interesting, flavorful beers. Some of them are really hoppy, some of them are not hoppy at all, some of them are sour. We're not going to brew anything that's terribly mainstream. We don't brew a wheat beer, we don't brew a blonde, we don't brew an amber. We're brewing things that we find interesting, and we're brewing them to a quality that people seem to enjoy. We're really focusing on unique and interesting things that people are not going to find a ton of places. Our brewing philosophy, generally speaking, is we make hoppy American ales, Belgian styles, and sours. But one core tenet across every beer that we make is we're going to make a beer as dry as possible so that it's on your palate, it's gone, you experience the flavors, but there's not going to be a cloying sweetness left behind. What we're aiming for is dry, highly drinkable beers that pack a lot of flavor, but don't just crush your palate. We brew the types of beers that we find really interesting and make them in such a way that makes them accessible to non-beer geeks. They are hopefully just as interesting to beer geeks. Making beer that's outside a lot of the traditional styles and kind of pushing the boundaries of some of the sour beers. Producing sours in a more rapid and repeatable fashion is something that Brandon and I are both really passionate about. It's actually a program that we started before Brandon started with us, but that he has helped us take to a whole new level because that's truly where his passion is. I don't want to be Sierra Nevada necessarily, but getting some beer out there and helping people appreciate some of the same things that I appreciate is definitely one of the things that we're hoping to do in the long run. This is the next step for us. We're doing a great business through the tap room, but long-term growth requires some distribution. We package about 7 cases an hour right now, doing hand-filled bottles on a bottling line that I built. I think the Wild Goose canning line is going to allow us to both increase quantity and quality of the packaged product. So we'll go from doing about 7 cases an hour to about 60. It is a cornucopia of breweries in this area. Distinguishing yourself can be a little bit difficult. Approaching it with a really scientific approach and good quality beer right out of the gate was definitely helpful for us in the first few months, but continuing to make quality product and make things that are interesting and different are really what have, I think, helped us grow to where we are and maintain a really consistent customer base. Making a unique product that's a little bit outside the normal styles and making it at a high quality is, I think, really what helps distinguish us from a lot of the other breweries in the area and helps us compete with some of the more established breweries.